excited to introduce our presenter that we have this morning. Not only was he one of my very first returning clients that actually came back on a repetitive basis, he actually now lives in my hometown and serves my family and my friends. So I won't get into anything else. I'll let him tell you, but this is Kenny Clayton, and we're so proud to have him.
Thanks for having me. It's like, I was surprised whenever I was coming here. I wasn't expecting to see very many people that I would know. It's like I have some family friends, the sisters here, and Burl Milligan, I've known him forever. It's like he's taking care of me. It's like, so now I gotta watch what I say, because I figured that, most of the time I'm a very quiet person as far as like business-wise and stuff like that, and don't talk a lot, but now they can, hold things over my head. I'll start out telling a little bit about my business, and then I was kind of thinking about it. Whenever you own a pharmacy or whatever you own, you got to get there before you get started. So I'm going to break it down like two phases: what I did to get to own the pharmacy, because I feel that was very important, and then what you do afterwards to provide the services that you want to be happy. The number one thing that you want to do whenever you own a business is you own it so you can be happy, provide a good service for the public, and if you do that, and you do a good job, most of the time the financial part of it will come, but you got to make sure that that happens too. So the first thing is I own a drugstore in Elkton, Kentucky, and whenever I purchased the drugstore, it had been in business since 1875, and it'd been in the Weathers family since 1875, and so we moved there in 1999. Me and my wife purchased it. Mr. Weathers, he was in his upper 70s and had run the drugstore since 1945. He was a great person. So, in the first time that I ever went to Elkton was to go to look at the drugstore, and it was like one of them old long shotgun pharmacies in the upstairs that had all those soda fountain fixtures, or all the old cabinetry from the 1800s, and we really liked the drugstore, so it was just a few months later whenever we purchased the drugstore. So, and then in 2011, we opened up a soda fountain, and why I did that, I don't know, but I always heard my dad and certain people talking, he always looked at them cabinets, and everybody, it's just a different atmosphere. At the time, I didn't need it to survive or to make a living off of. I just thought that would be fun. If people enjoy your business, they like coming, you can't really put a price on that. So I put the soda fountain in at the time. We named it the L&R Soda Bar. Now pass some pictures around. Right here's L, that's Lauren. Right here's R, that's Rachel. So that was that. And I get them to come in there and hang out with me quite a bit. It's like, Elkton's a pretty square. Whenever I was looking through pictures last night, they grabbed one at the town square. That's Courthouse Square. It has an old soda fountain back bar. We got some pictures of the back bar and the jukebox. Now these right here are the original drugstore cabinets that was sitting in the upstairs whenever we purchased it. I thought that was really neat. And it has old marble cabinets and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to give these pictures to pass around for everybody to, if you want to take a look at it. And yeah, I'll get started on the presentation here in a minute. It was, in the last few months, it's like Kentucky Living and Kentucky Monthly, and they kind of just put in articles about the soda fountain. You can tell right here's a picture of the outside of the drugstore and soda fountain. And right here's another picture from Kentucky Monthly. So I'll pass these around for everybody to kind of see what we're looking at. Starting out with the first phase, it's like, I watched Elizabeth sent me a presentation. I looked at it for a minute last night, and it was on a whole lot larger scale than what I was. The person was doing, the business where they were raising private equity and stuff like that, and where there's different types of businesses. Like one, I went to pharmacy school, and I went to pharmacy school so I could know that I could own a business. And you're kind of like a sole proprietor which, you know, everybody's LLC or S Corp or something like that, but basically you're going in business for yourself. If you're on a large scale, you're like in the private equity and it's the finance and everything's just a whole different ballgame, to where if you're developing hospitals or microchips or something like that, there's no way that you can go to work every day and save up enough money to put the money to develop your business. I can remember, you know, I guess that where it started, whenever I was a child, you can ask my sister, I wasn't very smart, and she can go for that. But whenever I used to go into like a seed store, I'd sit there and look around and go, I'm going to own a seed store one day. You know, I mean, I just thought everything was neat. If I went in the farm store, I thought, oh, this is neat. So yeah, I think that, you know, it develops in that, you know, whenever you're younger, you want it to own your own business. And then after I got out of high school, I was very irresponsible, you could say. It's like, but I went to work in the coal mines. And so I worked as an underground coal miner for 3 years. And I think everything's important because you learn about life and you learn what's important to you. So during that time, I think during the first year, I owned a pickup truck, and the typical 18 years. The next 2 years, I knew that I didn't work in the mines. And I saved up money. And it was probably not long after that, I met Burl Milligan. It's like, and anyway. So the next 2 years I worked in the coal mines and saved up money so I could go to college. At the age of, the reason why I'm in a wheelchair at that, I was a few weeks away from turning 21. I was in a car accident and I was paralyzed. And at that time, you know, everybody would come in and look at you in the hospital. You would smile, but you were really like, oh, I don't want to be handicapped and have people take care of me. I knew that I wanted to be self-sufficient, have my own job. I didn't want to go to my sister and ask her for $20 every week or something like that. So I moved to Madison, went to college, went to community college, and took all the classes to take pharmacy school. And so after that, went to pharmacy school, went to Sanford, Birmingham, and majored in pharmacy. Why did you major in pharmacy? I went to own my own business. A lot of people that went to pharmacy school, they have their own business. And so, and I think that this is leading up to the different phases. I think that this is kind of important because most people, after they get out of pharmacy school or whatever they do, the first thing they do is go out and buy a new house, new cars. I went on a business. So me and my wife, we were both pharmacists. We saved everything. We saved everything for 2 years. And so, and I think that if someone wants to own their own business and they can't pay their own bills, after you buy the business, you're not going to be able to cash flow the business. You're not going to be able to, you know, if I was to go into a pharmacy and say, hey, I want to buy your pharmacy, or do you have a pharmacy for sale? How are you? Are they just going to give it to you? Is the bank going to say, oh, this guy's been out of school for a year and a half, 2 years, or is he going to do that? So, don't think so. So we saved everything. Of course, I was kind of, from when I worked at the coal mines, I still had the mutual funds I bought through Burl that I never sold. And anyway, so whenever I was in high school and right around that age, after high school, I learned that. And I kind of got lucky because, like, I think that I purchased the pharmacy in 2000 and the dot-com bubble was getting ready to happen in 2000. You know what I mean? And so the mutual funds and stuff had quite a little bit there, but basically, with us graduating from high school, we had a dream of owning the business. And since we had the dream of owning the business, we saved to put ourselves in the right shape that allowed us to do that. Now, going on to the pharmacy, we kind of been lucky. It's like whenever we went to Elkton, Kentucky, I was working for a group of pharmacies and right after school that was kind of around this area, and they were kind of struggling financially and stuff like that. And I heard them talk about a drugstore being for sale in Elkton, Kentucky. So I went down there and I looked at it, and I loved it. And all through pharmacy school, there wasn't a pharmacy that I didn't go by that I didn't stop and look at. Because like, if you want to own a drugstore, how do you you know, I mean, you would go in every pharmacy and look at, see what they like, what you liked about it, what you didn't. So anyway, we went down there and Mr. Weathers, we hit it off. Since we had a little bit of money saved, he talked to, you know, I mean, he was very interested in us because he wanted someone to continue. He didn't want to sell to a chain or someone that had 5 pharmacies. He wanted to sell to a younger couple. So we were able to go there, and since I had that down, we didn't even have to go to the bank to finance it. He was able to, he would rather do it through us, and he got a higher percent interest, and it was lower than the bank, and it turned out great for both of us. So it was then that we purchased the drugstore, and it was a whole lot different. Whenever I looked the other day, and our first payroll had 8 employees. 2 of them was me and my wife. 2 of them was after-school students. And now, between the soda fountain and drugstore, we hired 50 employees.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like we feel in some days what we do in a week, we'll feel in a week more than what we would do in a month. You know what I mean? So we've really grown a lot since the time and stayed really busy. And there's, you know, part of the growth has been just growth within the company. And there was a few things that we've done to help it. There was several pharmacies in Todd County when we first moved there. It's like, good thing I'm not really looking at this. I had the wrong sheet in front of me.
We never would know. You're great.
Anyway, yeah, it's like, this guy's really on top of it. But anyway, so in 1999, we purchased a drugstore. And, you know, right after that, when we moved there, there was a town that was south of us that was Gray's Drugstore. It was in Guthrie, Kentucky. And he was in his upper 70s too, had Parkinson's, didn't have a computer, and filled about 50 prescriptions a day. But he was the nicest fellow in the world. He was, people would go to his house about every night. He wore pajamas, he put on sports coat, and he'd go up there and fill them prescriptions for him every night. And the bad thing about it is, his customers expected me to do the same thing. They might be working on their car all day, and it's like, Mr. Gray would go get, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's like, but anyway, he was a very nice fella. So I think that I bought the drugstore in May of '99. In September, this worked out very well. He kept like, I'm going to have to retire to shut down my business. And so I approached him with, even though the drugstore was 12 miles south of Elkton, I come up with the idea of just not, how about I buy your inventory, and I'll deliver to Guthrie 3 days a week and see how it turns out. That way you could do it and you could sell his building. And that was great for us because basically I just bought his inventory. I think I gave him $1,000 for his files. If he was still alive, I would need to give him some more money. But anyway, it's like, basically, it's like, that was great because I was just out of inventory. The money that I spent to do that, I think that I just purchased it. I went to the bank and got a loan for it. I was able to pay it back the next month because you basically did inventory. Then you bought the inventory and then it came back to you after you filled the prescription. So it was, that was really good, and it took us up. He filled about 50 prescriptions a day, but since we delivered down there, our script volume actually went up within a month or two, about 70 scripts a day, you know, which was quite a bit just by having that one pharmacy that we were servicing that we just delivered to. So that was a big help as far as growth. And then in 2004, we had there was another pharmacy that was across the street, and we developed a relationship. And the Campbells and Weathers, they always had a rivalry, real big, didn't they? Well, me and King, we were buddies. Every day we were kind of a new pharmacy, so whenever I would go in and we were, you know, new business owners, we would borrow stuff from him all the time. Hey, King, can we borrow 30 of these? And every day whenever I'd call him, he would say, you can have the keys to the drugstore and you can have everything on the shelf. And I'm okay, and I didn't know whether he was joking or telling the truth. So one day whenever he was doing it, I dropped a note in there. It's like, if you're really serious about that, I'll buy your files, I'll give you X amount for your prescriptions. And he'd been trying to sell the drugstore for a while. And I wrote him a note what we would do, but please don't get mad at me if I offended you by writing this. I mean, it was like 30 days later, it's like the files was at my place. And and of course, the good thing about it is, without having to open another location, without doing anything, we were able to buy the inventory and just kind of turn it in. And he sold his own business and all that. So virtually, I just really got lucky moving to Elkton. I had a nice drugstore, but there was 2 other drugstores where they weren't really big enough to be sold on the market, but then they were big enough to where it was great for my business. Mm-hmm. So that was just pure luck, and so I was very fortunate as far as all that. Another thing that allowed me to do was, whenever we first bought the drugstore, we had 8 employees. None of them were really trained. It's like whenever I bought the Gray's drugstore, if you go into a pharmacy, it's like the one thing that I always hated, if someone had to wait very long at all. It's like, I had never in my life told someone to come back in 30 minutes or an hour because we were too busy. We can't fill it in a few minutes. We have a staff full of people, and we still answer the phones. We don't have press one if you want this. We have 4 clerks there to ring up at any time. We have like 6 pharmacy technicians or 7, and then the pharmacist that's in there. And with growing your business, we were able to develop a workflow to where, most of the technicians have been with me for at least 10 years or more, to where if all they do is run the computer, there's one person running, they're very good at that. Then you got one person right beside of them, they're counting it up and getting it ready. And so whenever, by making these acquisitions and doing the deliveries, whenever someone comes in, we got the staff there to where 5 people walks in at the same time, we can get everybody done in a very short period of time. Then after they do that, we do the pickup prescriptions. And then after you do that, instead of standing around, we always got them Guthrie deliveries to do. So basically, even though that pharmacy's 12 miles away, we're always filling prescriptions because we always got something to do. So that was very, very good. I keep spilling water down there. I can't miss. If most of you look at my, I'm working on web pages and things like that. But one other thing that, tell me whenever we get close to time, because I will ramble forever. Okay, but technology-wise, we're a 1875 pharmacy in the old shotgun building, but technology-wise, one thing that helped out was right after we bought the drugstore, we had clerks that if someone come in and they got 10 prescriptions and they charged them, they would write down every single RX number. Then they would run it through the cash register, then they'd have to put it in. So we were one of the first, we upgraded to a software company right after I bought the drugstore, to where you scan the labels and press a button and it starts out to the account. So that was a big help. Then in 2008, we were just out of room. It was a shotgun pharmacy, and we knocked out the back wall and we expanded onto it. But we bought an automated dispensing unit, and it holds top 220 drugs. So from the time that the certified pharmacy technician presses enter in the computer, about 30 seconds later, out of a robot or a machine, you have your pills that come out of the thing, and it's cat vial labeled with, it's 30 Prilosec, you got 30 Prilosec, and you go over there and it has the patient's name on there, and you scan it out, and it's always correct and everything. On all controlled substances and things like that, we always basically what that does as far as workflow, it allows the person running the computer to just be focused, run your computer, run them as efficiently as possible. You got your counter beside that, they count up to get everything ready that's not in the product, and then the automated dispensing machine comes out with ready, so it makes it very efficient, and you can fill 10 prescriptions in a matter of minutes, you know what I mean? So that makes it very, very fast. I was probably I think I was in the top 10, first 10 customers to purchase this machine, and it worked out very well. You know, I wondered if I was crazy too, because it was kind of expensive whenever I purchased it, but I've used it for like 8 years now, so if you take it 8 years, it's like I got below minimum wage in the machine, and you don't have to pay any kind of benefits on there. You know, I mean, workers' compensation. It's like I do have to, pay software support on there every year now. But anyway, so that was very good. This past year, we upgraded computer systems again, and it has all the bells and whistles on there. Where whenever you're filling the prescription, it has the copy of the prescription in front of you. It shows you the color of the pill. Shows you where it's at in the workflow, who's got it, where's it at, if it's in the pickup bin, if it's on deliveries, if it's been signed for. So technology's helped us a lot with everything, I think, staying up on that. But then, if anybody looks at a Weatherstrug's website where you can do online refills, we don't have it yet. After coming here, it's like, and I kind of realized it, and everybody's real techie at a place like this. It probably will happen next few months.
Anything we can do to help.
Yeah, it's like, then going on, it's like, we were talking barbecue just a while ago and stuff like that. It's like, the soda fountain is what everybody enjoys. And as a pharmacist owner, why would you open a soda fountain? Because I had no restaurant experience. It's just something that I wanted to do. People come from all over to eat there. It's like on weekends and stuff. I would say that there's a place in Elkton, Kentucky, which is a little bitty small place that people come from all around to go there. And it's neat. We have whenever you walk in, it turned out prettier than I ever thought it would be. It has the cute box and old cabinetry feel to it. The food's good. I don't want to brag on it, because if anybody comes there and they don't like it, you never.
I can, if you want, I'll speak to that. I mean, I'll get to that.
Okay.
Questions answered.
One thing that I never like to do that in the pharmacy or in the soda fountain, I never like to ask people to come there. I just want to provide the service where hopefully they always want to come there. And so, but the soda fountain is neat. I think that people in the community really enjoy it. We probably have 25 or more flavors of ice cream. We make homemade waffle cones, hand spun milkshakes, and do all that sort of stuff. And then as far as food wise, we do the hand patted burgers, French fries, and everything from salmon on weekends to steaks. And we were talking barbecue. I have a smoker to where we do the pork tenderloin sandwiches, and we smoke our own barbecue. And I was trying to steal ideas from him there. It's like, so we have a wide variety of menus, and it's really went over well. And I think that the town and community enjoys it. As far as that's something that I wanted to do, as far as being a business wise, I would have probably been better off to invest. That was something that I wanted to do. It's like, because it's kind of like if you have kids that grow up going to your pharmacy. There was this freaky old man that was in a wheelchair that would give me a stick to go back fingers often. They'll grow up liking your place. It's like, so, basically through time if people enjoy your business and they like it, and hopefully there'll be a lot of good memories there. So I think that I probably have talked.
We'll do questions if you want to. Does anybody have any questions for Kenny?
When you
started to buy this, did you look at account receivables? Were there account receivables?
Oh, yeah.
I was sure there would be, since he'd been in business a long time, that there'd be accounts receivables.
Yeah, with that, I just purchased it at face value, and I got a good deal on the drugstore, so I bought the ones over 90 days. And basically, everybody from across the street that had a bad account over there moved to my place and stuck me after that. But that's just, that's part of the business. It's like, your first day of buying a business in a small town like that, there are some that know both pharmacies owners, so you lose 10% the first day, and then everybody that burned the bridge at both places, they come back to you, so you get them back. So, yeah, so.
I was looking through your pictures, and got a question on the old soda fountain. Is it actually an antique?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I thought I recognized it. It looked like an old Bastion Blessing.
Yeah, it's like,
If you need parts,
I need somebody to work on that thing all the
only an
time.
old guy like me who served his apprenticeship on that stuff, and I still have a handful of parts left. So if you need some parts, I've got some, I think.
You got free dinners coming up, it's like,
Well, I don't need service on that stuff anymore.
Darn, okay.
But it's something
It's like-
that
Do you know
caught my
how,
interest.
though?
Pardon?
Do you know how?
I'm sure.
Well,
yeah, maybe.
There's some things you don't forget.
All right.
In fact, they actually asked me something about something new. I don't know anything about it, but the old junk I know.
Yeah, it's like, basically all the old cabinets, and then one side was the original drugstore cabinets, the old soda fountain back bar, and the marble and the pumps and all that sort of stuff. We didn't have the original from the drugstore on that. The rumor had it, Mr. Weathers never would give me a straight answer on what happened to your old soda fountain. He never would tell me. He always just would change the subject. I think he went to a barn and got run over by a stock trailer. But we found that off the internet, off eBay, out of all places, and a guy so it was the original 1920s. I think it was from the 1920s, and the guy was a truck driver and delivered it to us. So we found that the back bar off eBay.
I wish I would've got together with you 10 years ago, because I had one of those old fountains, and I tried my best to sell it. Nobody was interested, so I finally pitched it. And we had a pickup truck load of those old soda fountains.
Yeah.
Or, those pumps.
Yeah, the pumps,
And pitched those to, they weren't worth anything.
yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, I still got a handful of parts.
One of the things about, I think it's amazing in the last 10, 12 years, my wife and I go down to Elkton quite a bit. We have a relative down there, and every tooth of that downtown's filled. Every business, I think. It was as of, I don't know, 6 months ago.
Elkton's really, I don't know how, but whenever I moved there, where the soda fountain was, if you would shut your eyes and walk back, you would fall through the floor in that building. You know what I mean? It's like it was a dilapidated building, but Elkton's really, it looks a whole lot better. It's a great little town.
Everything is operating downtown.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, well, I guess you just answered it. I was going to ask, did you find that, was there already kind of the spirit of local buying that existed when you got there? Or has that kind of come up in the last, have you seen that sort of develop? Because something's going on there.
I think I have a little to do with it.
Okay.
But I'm just kidding. But on the other side, it's like, I grew up in Webster County, it's like that, what does people do on Friday nights? It's like, people load up in the car, they go to Madisonville, and they go to Captain D's or whatever, and they go to Walmart. You know what I mean? That's what they do. Well, people in Elkton are sort of the same way. So as far as prescription wise, I think that the reason why that we keep everybody local, as far as that is, when they go to a chain, they gotta wait forever.
Mm-hmm.
And they still got the same co-payment, the price is as good. So if I can fill the prescriptions and get them done for seconds and have someone answer the phone and say, thank you, I got them. You know, I mean, the only thing we don't have to do is do something stupid. As far as the soda fountain, I think people really like it. And then, as far as the businesses around there, it's like a lot of them are bank service type stuff. But yeah, I think that the square's happening now to where used to the square was. So I think that there's a lot of people that do try to support your local businesses and stuff such as that. So yeah, I'm very proud of that. So Elkton does have, you have to be good at what you do for all the other local businesses, and if they do a good job, then they'll do it, but people will shop around and go out of town on you in a heartbeat too. You know what I mean, if you don't do a good job,
Yeah.
but it's kind of funny, on some days, all the locals eat at the soda fountain because it's not a touristy type days, but then there's probably a lot of days, all the people from Elkton and Todd County, they go to Clarksville to eat, then everybody from Clarksville, I mean, we have a ton of people from Clarksville and Hopkins, so they come to Elkton to eat because something different. So it's just, on certain days, we just try clientele, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them about the banana quake.
Oh, well, that's, our banana splits are huge anyway, but they only got a banana quake that's, if you eat it in 20 minutes and you don't die first, you get it for free. It's like 3 banana splits on. It has 3 bananas, 10 scoops of ice cream, can of whipped cream, nuts, and all the different toppings.
Does that come with a price, that commercial?
Yeah, it's like, you know, there's so many little things with me owning a drugstore that, you know, I don't have time for the soda fountain, but the soda fountain really does good. If there's something that is really lacked as far as like, in the pharmacy, I don't have to have managers. I'm there enough to where I don't have to fuss at one person, I just tell them what I mean. I mean, there's never a crossword in there the whole time. But in the soda fountain, I don't have that manager, that person that can take, every one of them's nice people, but it's, and everybody kind of does their jobs, but I need someone to run it. But it's like, but yeah, I need to have, like, I've been thinking about having a bingo display up there by the cash register. That way it's like, you know, I mean, me owning a drugstore, not to have gas bills and all that sort of stuff, that's where you pay for it. It's like, that's just, you know, that's law sales or, why not do that, so.
Kenny, I know being from there, living there all my teenage years, I know what an asset you are to the community. Did you ever consider changing the name of the pharmacy?
No, not really, because I think that any other situation that I probably would have, because it's Weathers Drugs, and my last name is Clayton. It'd been in business since 1875 and in the same family, and it's, somebody else says that they're the oldest pharmacy in Kentucky, but we're within the top. You know what I mean? It's like, I think that we're number 2. We could be number 1, but I'm not sure about that. But just the historical standing one of it. And then I think that whenever you're young, it's important to where you kind of want your name out there. Hey, I look and did this and all that sort of stuff. As you get older, you just, as long as people enjoy your business, that's all that matters. You know, it's like, you know, it's like it goes back to, you know, going back to, you know, if you keep things simple and happy, it's like, you know, you can have a new car and drive it to work every day, but if it really don't make you happy, whenever you go home at night, your wife's not going to be nicer to you no matter what you drive. So you might as well just keep your same vehicle. It's like, well, where did that come from? From asking me if the name was the same. But anyway, the moral of the story is, it's like we were comfortable just keeping it the same name, and we were very proud of. From the moment that I walked in the drugstore and seen all those cabinets and stuff, I wanted to make improvements as far as growing the business, service-wise, putting in a soda fountain, doing things such as that, but the name really wasn't one.
Since you already have the soda fountain and you're kind of keeping the whole, you know, trying to keep it, what's the word?
Authentic?
They're authentic, I think authentic, I guess would work, yeah. If you ever come across one of those photo booths, I love those things.
Okay.
If you get one, let me know.
Okay.
Really, yeah.
I'll be on the lookout.
Okay, yeah, I'll bring everybody, we'll make sure, it, you know, it makes money for you.
Okay, good. All right, yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I'd like to say something, Elizabeth.
Yes.
I've known Elkton for over 40 years, and it's like most other little towns in rural Kentucky. You know, it's had its heyday, and it starts sizing down and drying up. Stores go into closure, secondhand stores start showing up, and the place just kind of closes down and gets really quiet. People start going to Walmart, start going to the bigger towns. But I mean, Kenny's being a little modest here. when he took over Weathers Drugs, he brought personalized customer service to the people they weren't used to. They hadn't seen in a long time. And he put a lot of energy and fire into that business, and he turned that town around. I mean, I truly believe that that town picked up because of what him and his wife and what they built as a business, and they became part of that community.
Yeah.
I mean, he did start a movement there, and as a result, you know, you've got this energy here. This town is now growing and thriving, and it's a destination. People go there on the weekends. Now they have antique auto, you know, nights and stuff like that. And it's energy. There's energy in that town, and it's because someone tried and they really put the energy into it. So, you know, my hat's off to Kenny for watching him go through this entire process from start to finish. Did an awesome job. And it goes to show that we make a difference.
That's my brother-in-law, I think that's
I'm not related to you, and I've never met him before today. I mean, I'll just echo that. I will say, I mean, first of all, coconut cake, I'm really disappointed that there wasn't more talk about the coconut cake. I figured that would be at least a half of the presentation, but I mean, it's so good. But the other thing that I noticed about that is that, because we've been going down there for years, and it really did seem like when you took that place over, and again, I never met you before, but when you took that place over, Elkton was no different than Dixon, and you know, to a large extent, a lot of Madisonville. But you set a new, or you know, your place set a new standard in terms of cleanliness of the business. The other restaurants in town are nice. I mean, they're nice now. You know, everything had to kind of like come up to that. It set a new standard. I mean, it's been remarkable.
there is more traffic on the square now. And it's like, and I've kind of struggled with that too, in the fact that for years I didn't know whether to put in the soda fountain because I make my living off the pharmacy. And on the town square we had plenty of parking, but then whenever you move things in, you got to think about that. So I tore down some old buildings on the other side of us and put in parking lots and did stuff like that, just in case, you know what I mean. But the town's definitely where you can have to look for a parking spot now, and that's good. I guess it's like going to a restaurant and nobody's there can have great food, but then nobody goes there. But if you got to fight to get in, for some reason people will go. So Elkton's kind of the same way. It's like it seems to be picking up on the town square, and it's looks good. You know,
do you have ambitions beyond Elkton?
No.
This is what you're doing.
No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it's like, as far as the soda fountain stuff, you know, people's always like, put this here, and then I'm like, well, if I put one in your hometown, then you'd have to drive to mine to, you know, I'm just joking, you know, how people go to different places. But as far as like the drugstore, I used to think that I would, you know, day one own several drugstores, but as I looked at other pharmacies that had a bunch of them, they tend to say, it'll be 30 minutes for this prescription, you're not there, you can't control what's going on. And I wanted to grow it all in-house and give great service, or try to give good service, and just have one store that really did good. I noticed the multiple store owners, whenever you talk to them on the phone, they were always complaining about cash flow, they were always talking about things that I didn't want to have to deal with. You know what I mean? And so ours is a pretty simple, and one thing that's kind of different, and this is kind of a shame too, out of the 16 years I've had the drugstore, I've done every payroll, I've paid every bill. I don't do the deposits as far as actually, but I loaded every deposit. I know my business. You know what I mean, if that makes sense. And I think that I waste too much time doing a lot of that sort of stuff, but I've never had anybody do a payroll for me. You know what I mean? It's like, so I think that I micromanage it, and I know where it is, and I know where I want to take it. And so that's, if I would own 2 or 3 stores, I'd drive myself nuts, because everything makes a difference, I guess. And I can't let anybody else do it. I can't do it. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. It's like, but I take everything to where I couldn't work at a Walmart pharmacy to where come back in now. Upset customer once every 2 months, I'm sick. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't like any kind of conflict like that, like to micromanage everything. And like I said, on the pharmacy side, the people that's been with me so long, they know what they're doing, so I don't have to crack the whip. Every so often I'll see something that I want, I just pull them together and tell them what I want. And for the most part, it happens, you know what I mean? So.
You know, if more businesses managed themselves the way you do, as being close to the operation and know what they do and make the decisions individually, there would be much less failures.
Yeah, and the first part of it, I think the reason why I did it, I don't know why. I've had several young people that want to go into pharmacy and own stores, but they want to own the store, but they don't really. There's a process on how you do it. You got to have a plan and go into it. It's like whenever I bought the drugstore, I knew, like, they're like, how many years do you want to set it up on? And it's like, I want this. It's like, you can't do that. It's like, I want that. You know what I mean? It's like, I didn't want to buy the store if I couldn't do it. And that. You know what I mean? It's like that. With the acquisition of the other pharmacies, it even allowed it to be. But you kind of got to be prepared. You can't, if someone wants to go into business and they don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to do it, and they're already struggling making all their new car payments and all their house payments, they're not really going to, you know what I mean, they're going to have trouble in business after that, because that's going to roll over to their business, you know what I mean, and that sort of stuff. So knowing your thing, getting a little ambition and working hard for 4 or 5 years and taking care of it, then you don't have the baggage for the rest of your life. So
It's for me, it's hearing you how you started, and that's what I've always presented to younger people. How you started is take your time and save the money. You know, as you spoke about all your acquisitions, you had already pretty much self-financed the whole thing. And you sat back, you and your wife, you sat down, you kind of made a plan. You didn't buy another new pickup truck. You took that money and set it aside. And I think that's a takeaway for me. It validates, you validate what my feelings are also, is that the banks, everybody in that industry, they try to make it sound real easy to borrow that money. But in reality, it is easy, but the payback's a little tough. Where you have taken it and done it yourself. And you had already accustomed yourself to a standard of living that was setting aside. And I think that's a takeaway for people wanting to get into business is, you know, start your business much earlier than you ever start the business, start saving. You did that.
yeah, I think that a lot of people that graduate from a school or they get started, they feel like that, you know, like I gotta live in the big house and have the new cars and that sort of stuff, to where at that age, that stuff really don't make you happy if you think about it, if you can't afford it. If you start out, we just lived in a Main Street house that was just very typical, and we were very happy there. Whenever you're young, it's not the house that makes you happy, it's whether your wife is riding you or not, whether you're happy or not. It's like, so, you know, that's kind of a joke, but it's kind of the truth. So, you know, you're either happy in life or you're not. You know, I mean, if you're enjoying the things you're accomplishing, I think that's the stuff that really makes you happy. If you enjoy your coworkers, you enjoy the people that you work with, you enjoy your customers, that's more important than anything else.
What are your thoughts on 90-day mail orders?
Oh, it's like, you know, as far as like Drugstore does great and all that sort of stuff, but, you know, for hopefully that'll get better, because I don't know whether it will or not, but, you know, like, I voted for Bush, so don't think that I'm beating up. But then if you looked at President Bush, he was involved in PBM's pharmacy benefit managers. He was large stakeholders in the companies. They go through, and they're usually owned by, they make deals with the insurance companies. You go through us and all that sort of stuff. Then they team up with the manufacturers of the drugs. You don't have them take this drug, have them on our blood pressure pill that's kind of close to it. We'll give you a kickback. And then, you know what I mean? So if you take the whole scheme of things and you do stuff, it really don't save money. But they're the big dollar people and they do what they want. The insurance companies will team up with that. They're doing studies now and they're trying to come out to get transparency in there to where it's showing that as far as like the people that pay for it, the companies and the insurance companies, by the time they pay for the big dollar drugs, even though that they say that they're getting a rebate back through that, they're buying the big dollar drugs that's going to their house and there's cheaper drugs available on the market, or there's so much waste in that, and then by the time you take it to a large facility and mail it and everything else, that I think that the insurance companies really pay more, but they say that they're getting it for less. It's like, whenever I first, there's a lot of drugs that's 80 to 85% of everything we dispense is in generic, but the 15% that's in brand, manufacturers now, I used to think that they were for the patient, but now they're just out, like, there's no drug that comes on the market that's cheap now. You know what I mean? They're all $300-400 drugs up to $70,000 drugs for hepatitis C treatment. So, but I think that they're finding value in local service, in the fact that we're just as affordable. And if someone comes into our pharmacy and there's a drug interaction or something like that, all the medicines are there, we can take care of it and stuff like that. So, of course, with me being an independent pharmacist, we don't like the mail order houses. We'd rather get them to us.
But my thought was, are you able to do 90 days?
Oh, yeah, some insurance plans allow us to do a 90-day supply. Yeah, it's like, some of them do not allow us to do it where we can't even get contracted to do that. So, and I hate that, what I mean, because we want everybody to come to our drugstore. Yeah.
Well, kind of tag teaming on that, what is the thought behind that a mail order can accept a 90-day, whereas you cannot on a controlled substance?
On a controlled substance, on a 90-day?
Yes. So why can I take a controlled substance 90-day prescription and mail it off, but I can't take it to you, and you hold it and give me 30-day supply, or why do I have to mail that off and it take 4 weeks for it to get back?
I want to make sure I'm following the question right, but I think that you're asking why can you not get on a controlled substance 90 days through our pharmacy?
Right.
You can. It's like, a lot of times the insurance company will have a contract where they make you mail it into them to get the 90 days. And it's the insurance company.
Won't let you
do
pay
that.
for it.
Because
Okay.
like, as far as through most retail pharmacies, we can fill it, you know what I mean, the 90-day supply, just depends on that.
I'd like to say something. Kenny is my brother, and we grew up, of course, we know each other very well, growing up together, he's like any sibling. And we grew up extremely modest. We weren't given just a tremendous lot like kids are nowadays. And so I think one thing that helped Kenny was that because we weren't given tons of stuff, that he was able to save, and he knew how to work hard and to do without to then pay it off later, so that it would pay off later. But I would like to say that he is just being a little bit modest right now because he did work so very hard, and he also, was injured at 20 years old. And when I say injured, I mean he was in the hospital for months and months, and really he almost died because I was there and I know. But he picked himself up with such determination and such strength, and went on to go to college and take care of himself, and just, so impressive for a young guy that age. And I'm so proud of him for the person he's become, and he's not only an awesome businessman, but he's also an awesome person, and he's an awesome dad. His kids are wild about him. He, he's a great guy. And, I just had to say that as his sister. I just, wanted you all to know that he's overcome a lot in life. He had a hard start there for a while, and he did it. I mean, he rocked it. And I had so so much respect for that he did that. I mean, you just don't know. I mean, I know I saw part of what he went through, so I have so much respect for him. I don't tell him that very often, so he needs to like be recording this or I really tease him a lot, so I give him a hard time, but, he is a great guy, and one memory I have of him growing up was, which there was, one thing that stood out in my mind, one thing, he skipped half of high school. But anyway, the other thing was, as a small child, I can remember him with his piggy bank in the floor, counting his money over and over.
Just making sure she wasn't stealing it.
Kenny, I too would like to echo Tammy's sentiments. I've seen this young man go through this also and known him for many years. I truly admire him for that from the bottom of my heart, and also for setting goals and fulfilling them through hard work, the grit that he has and just getting through a day, always with a smile on his face. And he has contributed so much to that community of Elkton. It's thriving now, and it's a blessing to so many families there. He employs all these teenagers that can, help them get through school and all. And he is a blessing, and we're thankful to God that he is such a vital part of that community and makes it better.
I really wish I'd quit because, like, now I feel like that I'm going to have to start working hard. I need to start live up to these expectations and stuff. As Burrow, it's like I've known him since I was like, actually, I met him right after, whenever I worked in the mines, I went to mines in Henderson. And shortly after that, the poor fellow died of a heart attack. Then I ended up with Burrow, and then it's like, and I'm just kidding. It's like, but me and Burrow, he's been great friends every time, and he does our employees' retirement accounts and all that, and I've always used Burrow for a lot of other stuff, and he's been a great friend.
You don't really look that old, but Burl and I are ancient.
Burrow was old whenever I met him.
I caught him when he was in grade school.
I was 21 then, it's like...
Well, Kenny, great job, Kenny. You're such an inspiration. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, you guys. We'll see you next week. I don't know, we don't have a presenter for next week.
Kevin's working on it. Yeah, we are.
Okay.
So it's not confirmed yet.
Okay, well, if you know someone that would like to present as an entrepreneur or that's interested, or give us a call, Ruth Ann, myself, Carol, Kevin, Eric, and Mark. Yes, okay.
And we've got most of our weeks filled up through beginning or middle of November, but
Yes.
we do have 1 or 2 slots left.
Okay.
Get in there. Okay.
Thank you, we'll see you next week.
Great.